Welcome to Liverpool fans. Today we've got the latest updates of your beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started. Liverpool are preparing for major defensive changes in the upcoming transfer windows, with serious concerns growing around the long-term stability of their backline. Central to those worries is the future of Ibrahima Konate, whose current contract expires at the end of the season. With no extension agreed, the club face the very real prospect of losing the French defender on a free transfer in the summer of 2026, a scenario Liverpool are desperate to avoid. That uncertainty is compounded by the age and contract situations of other senior defenders, leaving recruitment chiefs with little room for delay. Virgil van Dijk remains the leader of Liverpool's defence, but at 34, his contract only runs 1 year beyond Konate's. Joe Gomez is also approaching a crossroads, with his deal expiring in 2027 and expectations growing that he could move on before then. Liverpool have already missed out on Mark Guehi, a blow that underlined how competitive the market for elite centre-backs has become. While the club did secure the signing of young Senegalese defender Amara Nallo in January, he is viewed as a long-term project rather than an immediate solution. Against this backdrop, Liverpool have begun exploratory talks over a potential move for Tottenham Hotspur centre-back Micky van de Ven. Reports from Spain indicate that discussions are at an early stage, but the intent is clear. Liverpool do not want this pursuit to drag on. Van de Ven, 24, is under contract until 2029 and has been one of the few standout performers in an otherwise difficult season for Tottenham. His pace, composure, and ability to play on the left side of central defence make him a natural candidate to one day succeed Van Dijk. Arne Slot is known to be a long-time admirer of Van de Ven and has previously attempted to sign him earlier in his career, first during his time in the Netherlands and later while tracking his progress in Germany. Van de Ven ultimately chose moves to Wolfsburg and then Tottenham in 2023. But Liverpool's interest has never faded. Spurs may be open to selling if the price is right, with figures of up to £78 million being discussed. It would be a significant investment, but Liverpool would be securing a Premier League-proven international defender entering his prime. Defensive concerns are not the only issue shaping Liverpool's transfer strategy. In attack, the squad has lacked pace and dynamism since the departure of Luis Diaz. The decision not to sign a direct replacement last summer has proven costly, with young prospect Rion Gumoha rarely used and the team often looking short of penetration. A wide forward is now seen as a priority, and Paris Saint-Germain winger Bradley Barcola has emerged once again as a serious target. Liverpool have admired Barcola for over a year, and his situation at PSG remains uncertain. His inconsistent minutes and PSG's ongoing pursuit of another high-profile young winger suggest the door could open for a summer move. Fabrizio Romano has reported that PSG are actively working on incoming deals in wide areas, a development that would likely push Barcola closer to the exit. Liverpool's long-standing contact with the players' camp has kept them well positioned should PSG decide to sell. Another dream target under discussion is Michael Olise of Bayern Munich. The French winger has flourished in the Bundesliga, producing outstanding numbers and establishing himself as one of Europe's most creative wide players. Olise's Premier League experience with Crystal Palace makes him particularly attractive, eliminating concerns about adaptation. However, Bayern would demand a fee well in excess of £80 million, making any deal extremely challenging. Liverpool are also monitoring a highly rated teenage forward at RB Leipzig, who has enjoyed a breakout season in Germany. Leipzig's hierarchy have publicly acknowledged that financial realities may force a sale if a major offer arrives. The player is understood to admire Liverpool and has expressed a desire to play at Anfield, but competition from Bayern Munich, Chelsea and Manchester City is fierce. For now, Liverpool are unlikely to act in January. Planning is firmly focused on the summer, when multiple issues must be addressed simultaneously. The defence needs renewal, the attack requires fresh energy, and a clear succession plan must be put in place for senior figures nearing the end of their peak years. Talks for Micky van de Ven underline the scale of Liverpool's intentions. Big decisions are coming, and the next transfer window could reshape the spine of the team for years to come. Liverpool Football Club have officially parted ways with head coach Arne Slot following the damaging 1-1 draw against Burnley at Anfield, a result that proved to be the final breaking point for the club's hierarchy. What was expected to be a routine home victory instead turned into a night of deep frustration and growing anger, both inside the stadium and behind the scenes. Within hours of the final whistle, the decision was made and communicated. Slot's dismissal is immediate and irreversible, bringing a sudden end to a short and turbulent chapter in Liverpool's modern history. The Burnley match was supposed to calm nerves and restore confidence. Anfield, traditionally a place where struggling teams rarely survive, was set for a response after a run of disappointing performances. Instead, Liverpool delivered a display that summed up the problems of the Slot era. Heavy possession with little penetration, slow ball circulation, defensive uncertainty, and a lack of urgency defined the performance. Burnley, organised and fearless, grew in belief as the match progressed and punished Liverpool late on, escaping with a point that felt like a defeat for the home side. The boos at full time were rare and symbolic. Patience had run out. Inside the dressing room, doubts had already begun to surface before the Burnley game. Sources close to the squad indicate that several senior players were struggling to fully trust Slot's tactical direction. Constant changes in shape, inconsistent pressing structures, and unclear roles left players uncertain during matches. Against Burnley, these issues were once again exposed. Liverpool looked disjointed, reactive, and mentally fragile, unable to impose themselves or manage key moments with authority. For a club built on intensity, identity, and belief, this was deeply alarming. Emergency meetings were held immediately after the match involving ownership, senior executives, and football leadership. The verdict was unanimous. Liverpool could not afford to drift any further. The risk of missing out on Champions League qualification, combined with declining performances and growing dissatisfaction within the squad, forced decisive action. Slot's departure was described internally as painful but unavoidable. The club believed that delaying the decision would only deepen the damage. Arne Slot arrived at Liverpool with optimism and expectation. His attacking philosophy and previous success suggested a progressive appointment for a new era. However, the reality proved far more difficult. Injuries, defensive instability, and repeated dropped points undermined his tenure. While there were flashes of attractive football, they were overshadowed by alarming inconsistency, particularly in matches Liverpool were expected to dominate. The Burnley draw was not an isolated failure, but the culmination of weeks of frustration and declining confidence. Supporter reaction has been mixed, but largely resigned. Some believe Slot deserved more time to embed his ideas, while many others feel standards had slipped too far. What united most fans was the feeling that Anfield no longer felt like a fortress. Under Slot, too many opponents arrived believing they could compete, survive, and even control spells of games.